Okay, so you were working on episode what?
26.
Okay.
The show is 26. And like seeing the amount of like growth my hair has gone through in a month was actually like really exciting, because it doesn't feel like that much like when you see your own hair every single day, but like being able to compare how your face looks to how your face looked a month ago, it's a really big difference. So my hair's actually grown a lot, which is really exciting.
I don't feel like I look any different than when I started recording the podcast.
I don't know. I haven't watched the first episodes of
Which
the
is
podcast
fine.
in such a while.
I haven't really changed much in my life, so why would I?
No. It's just coming down. It's snowing so hard.
I wonder if that's gonna hit us.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm gonna change the settings.
That much east.
I keep meaning before we record every week to change the settings to multiple participants can share simultaneously, and I always forget before we record, so I just remembered.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready when you are, friend.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's do it. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to Knitting My Shit Together, podcast about mental health and fiber arts, because we've evolved from just knitting at this point. And so we should probably change our tagline. But
I think our tagline is where neurodivergence and yarn collide.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I did that intentionally when I started the podcast.
That's smart.
Foresight.
Way to go. Internet high five.
Internet high five past Farah.
Yeah, so welcome. This is episode 30. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us get here. That's really exciting.
Speaking of foresight, I never foresaw 30 episodes. I saw like 10 episodes, and by like episode 20 still having like one viewer a week, and then being like, this is just verbal masturbation now, so I'm gonna quit recording it. And so yeah.
But there's a bunch of you, so thank you for joining us, and thank you for being part of our community. That's
so it's
really,
like a verbal orgy, not verbal masturbation. Okay, let's start.
Are we like starting over, or am I going into announcements? What do you mean by start?
You can do whatever. We can just keep going. Well, we have to say our names and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, hi, I'm Annika. I use they, them pronouns, and I am in Moses Lake, Washington. And you can find me online on Instagram at Tea-Fueled Living and on Ravelry at Threadcatcher.
Hi, my name's Farah. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it has been snowing for 2.5 days straight and is beautiful. And you can find me on Instagram at TomboyFemBags and on Ravelry at Farah Knits. And I'm on my alternate non-extended release form of Adderall today, so buckle up. Okay.
Currently snowing here in Moses Lake for like technically the second time this year, or this season, I guess, because it snowed a whole bunch in like February and March. But like it's the first like real snow, because it snowed overnight last time, so like I didn't get to really see it and experience it, and so I keep getting distracted. I apologize. All right, so on to announcements. First off, we have to say hi to our number one fan and if we're honest, probably our favorite fan. Like, we love all of you, but we love this one person.
But you all aren't toddlers.
But yeah, you're not a child who has decided that they love us. So, hi, Arissa.
Hi, Arissa. We love you.
Love you. Yes. Let's see. Announcements. Our Cover Your Ass KAL is going on strong. Let's see. Sultan joined his legs together and keeps.
That might be. That's just. Yeah.
We're just gonna move on. Anyway. Yeah. So
sewing up his crotch.
Yeah, the KAL is going strong. It's going great. There's still plenty of time to join us since the KAL goes until March 31st. If you need yarn support or pattern support, as we're officially using the Nether Garment pattern by Elizabeth Zimmerman, or if you need math help or math support, because there is a bit of math involved. And with this pattern, since it's a recipe, it's made to fit everybody, which is really cool. But either Farrah or I know we're totally willing to help. So, yes. Also, speaking of the Cover Your Ass KAL, there is patches pre-orders on the Tomboy Fan Bags site underneath Knitting My Shit Together merch. And yeah, we have subscriber patches, and we have patches specifically for the KAL, and we will have new patches for future KALs as well. So now would be the time to pre-order them. The KAL patches will be available for pre-order until the end of the KAL, and then after that you can't get them. So figure out when you want to get those. And then the subscriber patches will be ordered quarterly. So
hold on, I have a partner coming up the stairs. Hey, Mateo, we're recording.
That's fine.
What's up? Later. Oh, okay.
Enjoy the rest.
Okay, love you.
I can't tell if there's a kid outside my door crying or singing.
It sounds like singing from here.
They're sniffling. I'm pretty sure it's crying. But the other parent is home, so they can deal with it. Yes. Let's see. Any other announcements? Oh, today is, of course we do. Today, while we're currently recording, is December 1st, which means that today is the start of Vlogmas, where Farrah and I will be recording something.
We already recorded our first Vlogmas for our patrons, and it will be uploaded this evening. And just so everybody knows, for our patrons know for Vlogmas, and you all know for just the podcast. Well, also, I'm rocking morning hair this episode. You're welcome. Also, I'm going to experiment with editing on YouTube. And what that will mean, so I don't know how this is going to turn out because we're recording and I'm going to try editing it later tonight or tomorrow. But what it does mean is what I'm going to try and do is, instead of having title bars come up where I mention everybody and you all have to look it up, links will pop up that you'll be able to click on, which is really fun, I think, and easier. I think. I will still list everybody's Instagram handle in the description box below and on Instagram, so you can follow any makers we mentioned, but yes.
And if that doesn't work, they will be in the show notes, which I am working on getting caught up on in our Ravelry group. So
I'm doing all this because iMovie is very resource intensive for my computer, even my new one, and iMovie movies are very space intensive, and while I do put everything on a backup external hard drive, it will just be easier to, it's about ease and simplicity, people. And so just because why add extra steps that I don't need if I can upload directly to YouTube and do it there? But we'll see how it turns out. And if we end up in not liking it, we'll go back. No big deal.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any other announcements?
We did our first giveaway last week. Vlogmas is coming up. It's on.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, if you want access to our Vlogmas content and other extra content that we post, then you can join our Patreon at any level and find it there.
And apologies to our patrons. Like with Bag Vent for Tomboy Femme Bags coming up, it's been hectic. So I'm hoping to engage more on. That's one of my goals for 2020. And by doing things like saving time on editing, that frees up spoons for me to be able to engage more on Patreon with our patrons.
And for me too, it got to be a really busy, stressful season for school since I had to make up a whole bunch of schoolwork that I was supposed to get done while my eyes were like, nope. So since my eyes finally decided to cooperate, I had a whole bunch of extra stuff to get done. So I apologize, but
we're here. We acknowledge. But thank you for your continued support. We love you all.
Yes.
Like, it's really nice.
Yes. All right. Let's move on to FOs. Do you have any FOs?
I sewed 24 bags in the
You
last
did.
week. Does that count?
I mean, yes, I 100% think it counts because that's a lot of bags. But I'm not sure that you want to show all 24 bags on the podcast right now.
No. So I don't have any FOs other than the 24 bags I can't show.
All right. I have FOs.
Okay. Let's see.
This week, I knit a kids hat.
So cute.
Like size. And it's actually knit out of leftover yarn from this sweater. So, and since I knitted on the same size needles that I knit my sweater out of, like, it only took like 20 minutes to knit, which was like really gratifying. So,
amazing.
Yeah, I have a new donation hat done and ready to go. And once all my holiday knitting is done, then I can get back to it, and I'm really excited. The other FO I have this week is I finished a pair of socks. These are toe-up vanilla socks with an afterthought heel, and the yarn that I used is Me Too Seconds with a matching coordinated mini for the heels, and these were dyed by Malia Made It.
Yay.
And like
we love Malia Made It.
Malia Made It. And these were just super fun to knit. And they aren't really soft, which I also really like. So these were the first pair of socks that I've knit on size 1 needles. And the socks fit so much better now instead of on size 2s. Just because my body has changed so much that the 2s are now super loose. But these fit perfectly. So I'm really excited, and the stripes made me really happy and also made the socks go way quicker, which is why these are actually, I think, the longest socks that I've knit so far. So yeah, that's it. All right, on to whips. Woo!
Whips.
What do you have for whips?
Oh, I have a lot of whips, friends. Okay. Let's see. One is these socks I'm working on. And I have a theory about whips, too. Can I share a little Aquarian rabbit trail I've been on the last week? So you've all heard me, like, wax philosophic about how I used to really be strictly monogamous in terms of knitting. And, like, only knit one thing at a time. And my fear was And I also was like interested in spinning and interested in exploring other things, but I wouldn't let myself do it. Why? Because I make up stupid ass rules about hobbies and things, and I would be like, it'll be too overwhelming, it'll be too much, blah, 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 blah. But I've just kind of been like, fuck it in the past couple of months. And I think really when I started Tomboy Femme Bags, because it was adding sewing and stuff, and so I was like, I'm just going to start doing all the things. And I have. And I love it. And what I'm realizing it's doing is, do I have as many FOs as often? No. But I'm enjoying processes more. And what I've realized, so I've heard, I don't know if any of you listen to lectures and talks by artists, or if it's just like dorky people like me who obsess about stuff like that. Yeah. But have you ever heard artists or writers who talk about like multi-mediums and how working in different mediums and genres, how they inform one another? Like they don't limit you from, they just inform one another. Because I think it's like all creative energy feeding off itself. And that's what I'm finding is happening in my craft world. Like, by adding spinning, by adding, now I'm dabbling in some more extra crochet this week, which I'll show you in a second, and my knitting and embroidery, it's all informing and building on itself, and I'm enjoying it. So, I just wanted to say that in terms of before I start sharing all my whips. Here's one. It's a sock for my partner, Matthew. It's going to be a vanilla sock. I'm figuring out his sock recipe. And this is in Holst yarn, Holst Garn, if you're American. They are Danish. And this is their Highland sock yarn. And it's just a marled, like charcoal and white. And it's so beautiful. And really soft. So this is his heel. And I'm going to knit about 5 inches past the heel. I had him try this on and it fits perfect. And so I'm going to knit 5 inches past the heel and then do, because I had him tell me like, how high up your leg do you want this to go? So I'm going to go 5 inches past the heel and then do an inch of twisted rib for the cuff, which is what I like to use for cuffs. So that's one thing I worked on this week. I also worked on my pullover, my seamless raglan pullover that I'm knitting for myself. I got the body to the underarms done, which is pretty impressive. I tried it on and I'm really liking how it fits. It has plenty of positive ease, but that's what I like. And this is folding. It's hard to see right now, but you get the gist of it. It's a stockinette, basically. And then I started a sleeve. So this is a sleeve. Yeah, obviously a ways to go still, but I was like to this point already. I was past this point already. And then I realized that I was knitting and not paying attention to what I was doing. So I hadn't marked needle 1, the front side. And so I was just like, I don't know what I was doing. Willy-nilly putting in increases in the wrong places. So things weren't even and it was frustrating. So I ripped back because I was like, I was only a couple inches in and I'm like ripping out, redoing. I didn't go all the way back. I just went back to like some of my initial increases and am re-going from there. Other things I worked on. I worked some more on my crochet Scrappy blanket.
So pretty.
I love it. I love that it's truly scrappy. It kind of annoys me when people say scrappy blanket, but then you look and they've like carefully planned the colors, which it annoys me because what I've realized is I think people think scrappy means different things. Like I think some people think scrappy means like various colors and all of that they've put together. But when I say scrappy, I literally mean like leftover scrap yarn. That's what this is. And this is my fingering weight one. And I only have like a little bit more yarn leftovers to use. Well, you know, and then we'll go back to working on my worsted one, which is striped, granny stripes. And then try and keep up with it until it's done, which I don't know when that will be, when I decide it's big enough. Okay.
I haven't used a lot of worsted yarn though either lately. Like it's been mostly fingering weight.
I know. I think that one will be done a lot sooner than the worsted one. Yeah. In other news, I also worked on my striped sock, my second sock by Valkyrie Fibers. This is the second sock using the Rocky Horror Picture Show colorway that was like an October surprise colorway. And yeah, I don't think I'm to my heel yet on this, but I'm close. I'm like 6 stripes away from the heel on my second one. What else? I also worked on, I'm working on spinning. I won't show you it, but I'm working on, well, I'll grab the fiber quick if you don't mind. I'm not going to take the bobbin off my wheel. So I have a couple spinning things I've been working on. I've been working on just random fiber. Like sometimes I get scraps with stuff that I buy. Like somebody sent me, I got this from Fiber Sprite, a spinner's tool, and it came in a box with fiber as the packaging material, which is amazing. And so this is my Bosworth spindle, and so I'm just adding random scraps to this spindle for a drop spindle. Also, I should say, I haven't mentioned yarn, have I? I'm all over the place. I have a lot to do, which makes me be all over the place. Okay. This yarn for my seamless raglan pullover is by Retrosaria Rosa Pomar, and it's the Mondium base, which is just a fingering Portuguese wool, non-superwash that I love, and this is the golden yellow color. I talked about the other yarns. This is supposedly BFL that I got from the Woolery, but look at it's like 1-inch staple length. I don't think it's really BFL, and it's spinning up, and it felt really toothy for BFL when I first saw it. I'm spinning it up, and it's coming out really lumpy and strange. And Sultan had the idea that it might just have been packaged for a long time, which is totally true. And I don't have a way to card it or anything, because I don't have anything like that yet. So I think what I'm going to do is keep spinning it. And it's also what I first tried my wheel on in the beginning when I was really struggling with on my wheel. So it's lumpy and chunky and different weights. And so I have a thought, which is I'm going to spin it all up, knit it on like bigger size needles, and I'll even change needle size as I go, felt it, and make wool fabric to do bags out of.
That's gonna be super cool.
Really excites me. I'll for sure do a bag for myself, but then maybe a bag I'll sell even, and I'll just have to, I don't know what, but I'm really excited about that idea. The idea of that process is exciting to me. Finally, crochet wise. So I have this wool, this yarn that I got. It was on sale at Michael's. It's mostly acrylic, or it was like Joanne Fabrics, and it's by Wool and the Gang. And it's just this really super chunky yarn. I was going to originally knit this cowl pattern I saw with it, and then I got the yarn, and I'm like, oh, it'd be perfect for that. And it turns out that pattern was a personal pattern that somebody wrote that then they took off of Ravelry by the time I got to it, which was a pickle. So this has been sitting in my yarn bin, and it's taking up a lot of precious space in my yarn bin. And so I was like, I need to just use this, but I really want a chunky cowl because I like cowls. I don't like loose. I like bandana. I like cowls. I like bandana cowls. When they're this loose, I like them to be tall though, so that I can stack and scrunch them so that they really actually cover my neck. So I just made a chain and started doing this, and I'm kind of making it up. Sultan helped me a little bit, teaching me some stuff, and I'm kind of making it up as I go, in a way. I mean, he showed me some stuff. So, like, I couldn't remember how to single crochet because I just do double crochet on my granny squares. And so I was like, Sultan, is it this way? And I accidentally did a slip stitch. And he's like, no, that's a slip stitch. This is the single crochet. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. But I liked how the slip stitch worked because it's like these. And it looks like sideways stockinette stitches. And he said, you know what looks really cool is when you alternate slip stitches with single crochet. And I was like, ooh. So basically what I'm doing is a round of single crochet and a round of slip stitch. And I'm going to use up all 3 balls of this, and it's going to be ginormous and really funky. And I kind of like, okay, I really appreciate the look that's like, if minimalism, futurism, and a hippie had a 3-way. That, I like that vibe. Are you seeing it?
I am. Except for like my original like picture in my head was way more colorful than like you go generally. And I was like, okay, got to pick a color scheme from one of the other groups and not the hippie group.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that minimalist, futurist, but natural looking. It's like simple. It's usually monochromatic. It's usually earth tones. But
You like organic shapes with clean lines.
Yeah. I am here for it. So I think that's all my whips. Do I have any other whips?
I don't think so.
I'm spinning up some fiber, but I don't want to share it quite yet. Yeah, I think that's it. Your turn.
All right. Don't know. I'm so tired. Sorry. All right. So I have 2 whips this week because it's like I overall have more whips than that, but I've only worked on these 2 projects this week. Besides the stuff that I finished, because the holiday stress has hit me. So, the first one that I'm working on is the Sago Cycad sock.
Okay. That is gorgeous. I'm seeing it in this light for the first time. I love it.
Me too. And it's kind of interesting because like this orangish color is actually more like rust colored and not like Hunter's neon orange. But yeah, it's the Sago Cycad sock by Spun Nomadity. When I was test knitting the Sago Cycad hat, I'm like, hey, like you already have the counts for a sock. Can you make it a sock? And after I cajoled him enough, Sultan said yes. And then did, and it's beautiful, and it's really fun to knit. So, yeah, the yarn that I'm using is Teal Torch Knits, and the orange was a mystery colorway. Hold on. Yeah, it's called Arab Mystery, and it's a mini that I'm using for the bottom. And then the body colorway is called Northumberland. And this is on their sock base. And I just love it. And I'm doing the Afterthought heel method for this sock, which is one of the options for his pattern, which my guess would be coming out soon. But I haven't been given a date yet. So be on the lookout for this. The socks are super fun to knit. And then my other whip for this week is I'm knitting Flax by Tin Can Knits.
Yay.
And I have the body, I'd say 3/4 of the way done.
Annika, you hauled ass on that.
Well, I mean, it's just stockinette at this point, so...
I know, but I mean, you've really made good progress on that sweater. And I really like it. I like the color. I like the pattern. I like everything.
Yeah, in case you haven't seen this sweater before, the shoulders and the sleeves have this really cool garter detail. And like I said last week, this was the first time that I've ever done garter stitch in the round before, so it's been a new experience and it's been super fun. And I'm really enjoying it, but I'm almost done with the body, which is good because I need this cord and the needles or the needle tips that are on this sweater to finish Linnea's Christmas sweater, which is why these are the only 2 projects I have worked on this week. So, pardon me, the yarn that I'm using is Caron 1 pound in Cape Cod Blue. And it's like a lightish navy color in real life. Like it's a lighter navy, like it's not like a dark navy, but yeah, I'm making it for my kids' dad, and yeah, so he'll either get this or what I was originally planning on making for Christmas for him, because I finally found my bucket of doom. So yeah, so we'll see. And in case people watching this don't know what my bucket of doom is this giant 30-gallon tote.
I love that it's called the Bucket of Doom.
Well, it's not see-through. I forget what's in it, and then that stresses me out. It holds whips that I'm just like, I don't know what to do with you right now. And since I can't see what's inside it, it's terrifying, and so I call it my bucket of doom. So, yeah.
Do you have a goal to like whittle down the Bucket of Doom?
I did Move It Forward May, which was a like work on your whips thing challenge that Labors of Love Crochet on Instagram did in May, obviously, because it's called Move It Forward May. And I whittled down my bucket of doom from 13 whips to 4.
Wow.
So
that's impressive, Annika.
Yeah. So I mean, there's
even
not much left in it, and like the project that I was planning on originally doing for my kids' dad for Christmas is like the biggest thing in there. So one of the things in there I just need to mend. But yeah, so yeah, it's getting there.
Only have one item in my bucket of doom. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
Because I think I just had a little brainstorm about what I'm going to do about it. Because it's also taking up a lot of space in bins. So my little sister and I wanted to get my mom a Christmas gift, a joint gift 2 years ago. And I really like getting experiences more than things for people. Or else I like making things. Because I'm like, we all just have enough shit. Okay? So we were going to sign up for a knitting class for her. And my mom, knitting is hard for my mother's neurodivergent brain. Because she hasn't worked through stuff yet, she really struggles with like her self-esteem and self-worth and sense of who she is, and can tend toward a simultaneous, and I think these do go hand in hand, perfectionism and beating herself up. So it's so painful to knit with her. I can't knit with her. It just stresses me out because she'll sit and like when she makes mistakes verbally berate herself. but then won't, like, she'll be like, Farrah, I did this thing. And I'm like, just keep knitting. Like, you couldn't spot that on a passing pony. Like, just keep going. Nobody's going to know. Or, like, I have an extra stitch. And I'm like, just knit 2 together. Nobody will know. Nobody will see that. And she just can't, her brain just cannot abide right now. So then she rips out and keeps going. So I was like, why don't we take a class with Mom where where they teach you how to fix your mistakes so she doesn't have to keep ripping out. Someone can sit with her and teach her how to do that. And my sister was like, but I don't want to do that because I know how to do that. So why don't we sign up for something that we've never done too? And I'm like, okay, but I didn't really care. And then my sister was like, let's take a thrummed mittens class.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. So it's not hard doing thrummed mittens. They're not hard. I just don't like it. Because I don't like making all the little fucking thrums. They're annoying. And so now, I had mine started and then I was like, I couldn't remember where I was in the pattern. So I ripped it out. So I have this olive green lamb's pride wool that, I don't know, I could use it for something. It is olive green, which I like, and it's not so itchy, but, and then I have all this thrum wool. I'm going to spin all this on my drop spindle because I think it's too broken up to do on my wheel at this point. I'm going to spin it all on my drop spindle. I'm going to knit this all up. I'm going to felt all of it and make a bag.
Wait.
Make fabric for a bag. That's what I'm going to do. And since December is my creative break month, I mean, we'll see. I have a lot of fucking projects lined up, but it could be cool to explore that during February.
Totally.
And Sultan gave me that knitting machine. It's like, did you see this? Do you want to?
Okay.
I haven't even opened it. Like, hold on.
Why don't we do it for a Vlogmas episode? Have you
good
open it
idea.
then? Try it out.
So it's like this vintage thing that I don't know. We'll open it. But I was thinking, as I was thinking about it last night, I'm like, some of this stuff I think it's like old school retro, not fancy. It doesn't do tubes. I think it just does flat pieces. And he gave it to me because I'm going to use it to do backgrounds and stuff for my mochi stuff if I ever get that going too. But can I just have people like give me money to pay bills and just make random shit that I contribute to the world?
I mean, if you get famous enough, I think that's how that works.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was thinking is I could use the knitting machine, since it just does swaths of stockinette, to, when I spin a fiber, make a big flat piece with that I'm going to then felt to make bags with. So maybe, yeah, I'll be exploring that on Vlogmas. If you want to see, become a patron. You can sign up for anywhere from $1 a month to $1 million a month, or $1 million single time donation.
Yeah.
That's it. What were we talking about? How did that happen? What we just did?
It went from whips and talking about my bucket of doom.
Oh yeah, to my bucket of doom.
Doom to the from mittens, and then to spinning, and then to yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm calling my psychiatrist on tomorrow is Monday, and I'm getting an appointment with her so I can get my real Adderall.
Awesome.
Because like I will be counting down the days.
No, I'll just remind you tomorrow. That's all.
Okay.
It's mostly just so we don't have a repeat of like what happened last time. Because like this doesn't bother me. The like you becoming horribly depressed because your body's not processing the short term
dopamine. Yeah.
versus like the extended release. Like that's the part that like I'm not cool with, because like not necessarily you being depressed is the part that like I'm not cool with. It's that like it's completely avoidable versus
It's
like
the
your brain just
avoidable
being,
existential angst.
yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
it's fixable. That's more, yeah. Anyway, um wow. We have like almost half an inch of snow already. This is amazing.
I'll bet you my psychiatrist, if I make an appointment first
Mm.
and have it set and then email her and say, okay, I realize I dropped the ball on setting an appointment, but everything's going good. I just was really busy. But here's my appointment date, and I ran out of Adderall. Can you fill the prescription until I can get in for that appointment? She probably would.
See?
Well, I feel like I owe it that before I ask her to refill it based on like me taking care of my responsibilities. So anyway.
All right. Should we move on to the mental health moment?
Yeah. Mental health moment. Okay.
Yeah, you singing, I do the dancing for this one. All right, so this week for mental health moment, we're gonna talk about asking for help. You saw my Instagram stories this week, like,
that was so adorable and sweet, and I didn't see it till like 11 hours or 14 hours after you did it, and I was just like on the toilet, middle of the night, and I just had a moment where I'm like, oh my god, that's so sweet. So go on.
it's cool. Sultan sent me the crying or the sad face emoji, like not the crying one, the sad face emoji, and I'm like, I said nice things. What's wrong? I don't understand. He's like, I thought I sent you the crying face because you made me tear up. I'm like, oh, that makes way more sense. I'm like, because I was like having like this moment of panic of like, did I say something mean? I did not realize it. Like, but no, I said nice things. Anyway, if you saw my stories this week, I bragged about my friends for a bit because one, they're awesome, and two, if you don't have friends that will hype you up about how awesome you are, then like
you need new friends.
And if that's not your jam, like that's okay too, I suppose. No real judgment, I promise. Anyway, but one of the things that like I'm super proud and like amazed at this week was like all of my friends asked for help with different things that they needed. Like I had one friend that's like, this is just making me angry and I don't understand what is going on, and I just need someone else to like just sit with me and explain to me how to do this in like children's terms, because it's just not making sense to my brain. And like that was really cool. And like there were one of our friends this week, it was just like, can you just like sit with me and like just chill and we'll have quiet time and like no pressure to do anything. And then like Farrah asked this week if we could have like silent work time so we both could just get stuff done that we had both been avoiding, and that was amazing. And yeah, so I just wanted to like talk about how as neurodivergent adults, and if there's any non-neurodivergent, or I guess what is that, neurotypical adults watching this, and non-adults, anybody just watching this,
anyone really, Arissa, toddlers, whoever.
Toddlers, ask for help, do it. Yeah, I just like asking for help is not a weakness. It's not like, it's not a bad thing. Like no one's omniscient and knows how to do everything. And like if you've gone and like put people in your community and have people in your life, like, they won't know how to do everything either and will have needed help at some point. And so asking for help is not a bad thing or a terrible thing or makes you seem weak or stupid or anything like that. Like, it's a really great thing. And I think too, something that a lot of people don't understand is that, like, when you ask other people that you know for help, like, it humanizes you. Like, it makes you, or it humanizes you to other people. So it, like, shows that, like, oh, they're like me and they aren't perfect or whatever. And like, that really is a really good stepping stone to have people, or to help people grow to be close to you, because, like, you can't really grow close to a statue. So,
And so 2 things I want to add to this conversation. Like, asking for what you want is just a need is so powerful, and it can be really silly things that you need help for that seem silly but aren't. So as an example, without going into a whole story, last night I had a difficult interaction with somebody, and I separately needed to vent with, like, Sultan and Annika. And it was during Stitch Group, and I was just like, I can't be present in Stitch Group. Like, Annika, can you moderate? And they were like, yeah. And then I said, Sultan, something came up new with this. Can you go process with me? And he did. And then I was like, Annika, I need to talk to you too. Because I most of the time emotionally process out loud. So I need to talk things out to people to help me sort it out in my head. And it's not that I need them to give me advice or fix it. It's just simply the act of speaking it out loud and talking it out loud helps me sort through it all. And so what's funny is they both did, but Annika and I, when we talked, they said to me at the end, like, so, which I loved, so what can I do to support you in this right now? And here's what's funny. So let's be honest, there was nothing they could do about the situation, because it was between me and another person, and they don't have control over either of our free will.
And also, to be honest, the amount of times that we have joked about murdering and hiding dead bodies on this podcast, like,
that's why the CIA is listening.
Hire someone to do that either.
Yeah.
So
I told them, I said, I just thought, when they asked me that, I paused and I'm like, what do I need right now? And so I said, okay, sometimes we just need to hear things from people. Like, for me, even things that logically I know are true, you need to hear. So this was like a logical thing that I knew is true, but I told them, I said, I need to know that I need to hear that I made the right decision for myself in this situation, that I made the healthy choice. And they completely affirmed that I did, which I knew, but I needed to hear because it was a hard choice that I had to make. I made the right choice, but it was a hard one. And I needed to hear and have that choice validated from somebody else. And so just directly asking for somebody to validate you does not mean that, like,
you're not worthy of being validated.
You're not worthy of being validated, and it doesn't take away from the validation. Like, the fact that I had to ask for it, and just say, I need to hear this, didn't take away from the validation and the sense of validation I felt when Annika shared it with me.
I do want to put a caveat with that, though. If you do not have a relationship with someone where you know that they will tell you the truth,
yeah,
and give you, like, honesty in a gentle way, like, in your relationship, that validation might feel more hollow and not as actually validating as you need it. But if you do have those people in your life that you know will be honest with you, like, asking for it still gives the same benefits of them just randomly giving that validation.
Yeah. And also, so, which I think ties in well to the second thing, part of our conversation that I told Annika I needed last night, which sometimes we need things that aren't logical or rational, and that we maybe even know they aren't true, but we need to hear them, if this makes sense. So, like, I realized in the situation with this person that I had gut instincts about the person in the situation that I have no idea if are actually true or not. But I needed to be right. Like, sometimes that can be a need. It doesn't mean it's a good need. It doesn't mean it's always a healthy need. But in this situation, for me to move forward, I needed to feel right. And so I just told Annika, I said, this might sound really strange, but I need to hear that I'm right in this. For me to move forward. Because I really felt like with the situation, there was like gaslighting in it and whatnot. And so what was great is Annika handled it perfectly. And they said, well, like, I don't know about all your interactions with this person, but from what you have shared with me, yeah, I believe you're right. And I was like, okay. So, like, sometimes asking for help can just be that. Just telling somebody you trust what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, so like Annika, after we record, I have to finish uploading stuff for Bag Vent, and it's like nitnoidy technical details that burn me out quickly.
Yeah.
Can we do silent work time?
Totally.
Okay. What else do we want to share about that? About asking for help?
I don't even know.
I think too, well, I think one thing I want to say is I think you'll be able to add words to this to help me describe it in an effective way, but I think we've all known people in our lives who don't ask for help. And they do lots of stuff for other people. They help lots of other people, but then they don't ask for help when they need it. And I think that breeds resentment. Because I think I've done that to myself. But fortunately, I've been able to learn and know when I start doing that, I stop doing it and ask for help. Because what happens then is you start getting resentful because you're giving, and you're not asking for help in return. And then you get resentful, and then you kind of lash out and get angry and distance yourself from the people you're helping because of that resentment. And I think from the outside, it can look like almost a martyr complex.
Did you say murder or martyr?
Martyr.
I'm so sorry.
Martyr.
Okay. That makes way more sense. I was like, where is the story going?
But do you know what I mean? Like the martyr complex where you're like,
I figured this out by myself. Why couldn't you? Yeah.
And not even that, but like, I give and give and give and no one's ever here for me. And it might just be because you don't ask. Or people offer to help you and you don't let them in and accept their help. And people are only going to offer so many times and be refused so many times. And then they're just going to quit offering.
I do also want to put the caveat for this one that if you're in either a physically or emotionally or mentally abusive relationship, whether it be romantic, friendship, or family relationship, that it very could well be the fact that there is no help being offered or given as a means of control too. And
completely.
Like, that's not your job to fix these people and ask them for help in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, we're only talking about healthy relationships with
We're
other
talking
people.
about non-abusive relationship dynamics.
Abusive relationships with other people. Yes.
Yeah. I found the company of my dreams, people. It's like an Aquarian's dream come true company. On Instagram, of course, because I'm like totally the victim of Instagram.
While you're finding that. So this week we have lives on Wednesday and Friday, some point during the day after Farrah wakes up. On Wednesdays, we go over generally the top 5-ish, what's hot right now patterns on Ravelry, as well as some of our new current favorites. And we also call out designers if they are not being size inclusive, because it's the end of 2019 and we believe that people can do better. We also won't talk about the patterns themselves if they are not size inclusive or if they are using problematic yarn, because once again, it's the end of 2019, people. And then on Fridays, we share our acquisitions, and if we like have extra time for either of those, which we normally do, we just hang out and like talk to whoever's joined us for the lives, and it's a good time and super fun. And then on Saturdays we have our open stitch nights. Link to our Zoom room and our stitch room is it in the description box below? Okay, it's in the description box below, and it's also actually now in our link tree in our Knitting My Shit Together Instagram page.
I'm not going to talk about the company because I just don't feel like finding it. Also, there's a link to, if you want to become a patron, there's a link in the description box and on our link tree as well. And our Ravelry group link is in both places as well.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
Me too.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll see
Episode
you.
30.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for episode 30. So cool. And I guess we will see you other places on the web this week, and back here next week.
Yay.
Another episode of our podcast. Ta-da.
Bye.
Bye.